So the Roadrunner is back in the trailer, ready to go. Now I got the Camaro in the shop here. And we were having problems with this vacuum pump. The vacuum pump I had plumbed, well, originally it was plumbed kind of like this. It had the vacuum coming out of the intake valley into the pump, and then from there into this reservoir. But the dry sump tank was also vented into this reservoir, and it was filling up with oil. So I separated them, and I took the intake for the vacuum off of the top of the valve cover, routed it to the pump and then to this reservoir here. So I separated them, but now this one was filling up with oil, and on the last pass it really filled up with oil and sprayed the whole front of the car here full of oil. So now I'm trying something different again. I've got the vacuum pump plumbed in to this reservoir with the big breather on it, and I got the dry sump going to the little tank, because when I had them separated there was hardly anything in this one from the dry sump. So now that we have a bigger reservoir for the vacuum pump, I'm hoping that we can make a full run without this thing spewing over. And then I've taken it from the intake valley. I haven't got the intake off, so I don't know what kind of baffle is under there. But it should be better than on the valve cover, I guess, because this motor doesn't have any drains on it. Usually there's a drain from the head to drain the oil back to the block. A couple of drains on each side. Most of these big engines will have that. This one doesn't have any drains at all, other than what drains back from underneath the valve cover here in the head would drain back to the pan. So I have a feeling on a really hard pass the valve cover would fill up with oil and the vacuum would just suck it all out of there. So intake valley should be deep enough, hopefully, to not suck so much oil. So we'll try that. He's going out again this weekend. I can't go with him this weekend, but he'll keep me posted on how things are working. And then the oil filter is down there, and I took that all apart and cleaned it all out. And it turns out that these ends can go on either side, and on the filter it's got a flow arrow, so it flows that way, but the filter is supposed to only go in one way. And what happened was, I guess when the guy that refreshing the motor took the motor apart, cleaned that all out, he had the filter in backwards. He had the flow going the right direction, but the filter was in backwards. Now it didn't really make any difference, it still worked, but I put that back in the way it's supposed to go. So that may have contributed to the oil spewing out. I don't think so, but regardless, that's it's back to where it's supposed to be. So this car ran a 644 at 218 last time out, and this time he's going without me, so he wanted me to program the delay box and the computer for the nitrous and everything. He's not going to run all 5 stages, only going to run 3, so I got all that set for him. And looking it all over, and everything looks fine. I scraped the rubber off the wheelie bars. Yeah, so that's all good. So I'm going to fire this thing up after I prime it and make sure it's all good. Still got to check the valves, the valve lash, make sure there's no broken valve springs, and this thing will be ready to rock.